What if I told you that the very thing you believe is driving your success is actually slowing you down? Most people think they are one lucky break away from wealth, one promotion, one viral video, one winning investment. But the truth is, most people don't fail because they lack intelligence, ambition, or opportunity. They fail because they obsess over the wrong thing. You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. James Clear. This is the one habit that changed my life and the lives of hundreds of successful entrepreneurs, investors, creators, and self-made millionaires. Stop obsessing over outcomes and start building your inputs. In this video, I'm going to show you why chasing goals keep you stuck in the cycle of almost. Why wealthy people think differently and act differently, how to build personal input system that makes wealth inevitable, and how to overcome the psychological traps that kill this habit before it compounds. This isn't a theory, it's practical, real, trackable. Let's dive in. For those new here, I'm Muzaffar Teja, qualified accountant, investment banker, and your guide to cutting through the noise of finance. On this channel, we don't just talk about money, we talk about owning your life. Think personal finance systems, self-development frameworks, wealth building mindset, and investment strategies that actually work. If that's your vibe, hit subscribe and ring the bell. We drop game-changing content every week. Let's get to work. Let's say you've got a clear goal. You want to make £10,000 per month. You write it down, you tell it to your friends, you make vision board, you feel inspired. But 6 months later, you are still hovering around £3,000 per month, maybe less. You are frustrated, you blame the market, you blame distractions. You say, I guess I'm not just cut for this. But none of those are the real problems. The real problem is you focused on the outcome but never built the process. You are staring at the scoreboard but never trained for the game. Let me explain. We live in a goal-obsessed culture. Set 6 months income targets, 10 times your revenue in 90 days, hit 1 million subscribers before your 30th birthday. It sounds powerful, it feels productive, but it's a trap. Why? Goals rely on emotions. They feel exciting up front, but wear off quickly. Goals are external. You don't fully control the timeline. Goals create binary pressure. You either hit it or you didn't. And most people give up if they don't see fast progress. This is the psychology of quitting. When progress is invisible, we assume we are failing. But wealth and any meaningful success is invisible for a long time. That's where the inputs come in, and that's where the wealthy quietly win. Now let's talk about what wealthy, successful people do differently and why it works. They don't spend most of their time dreaming about results. They spend their time building systems. Systems are the levers. Goals are just the scoreboard. Wealthy people track the part they control, and the only thing you actually control is your inputs. Let me break it down. A goal is earn £10,000 per month, and input is send 5 pitches a day every weekday for 90 days. One is hopeful, the other is measurable. One is emotional, the other is systematic. Real world example. Warren Buffett doesn't say I want to be a billionaire. He reads 5+ hours a day and makes a few high convictions decisions per year. MrBeast didn't set out to get 200 million subscribers. He filmed thousands of videos, tested, improved, repeated. Ali Abdaal didn't aim for become a millionaire from YouTube. He uploaded 2 quality videos a week while working as a doctor. That's an input habit. And these aren't just habits, they are commitment to process. Once you install the system, the results become predictable. So the question is no longer can I make £10,000 per month? It becomes can I stick to 5 client pitches per day? The moment you shift the frame, everything changes. Why this habit is real wealth multiplier. Let's be clear. Obsessing over inputs won't make you feel powerful in the moment, but it will make you powerful over time, because inputs leads to consistency. You don't skip steps. Data, you can track what's working. Confidence, you trust the system instead of guessing. It's like planting seeds versus trying to build a tree by yelling at it to grow. Inputs are your seeds. They need water, sun, and time, but once they grow, they compound. The wealthy think like farmers. The broke think like gamblers. If you want predictable growth, stop rolling the dice, start planning. Now, if focusing on inputs is so powerful, why don't more people do it? Why do most people, even after hearing this, go right back to obsessing over income goals, views, or followers count? The answer is simple, because outcome gives you dopamine, inputs gives you discipline. And most people are addicted to dopamine. The real reason people quit this habit: number one, no immediate reward. We are wired to chase things that feel good now. Checking your followers count, instant hit. Getting a comment or like feels validating. Visualizing 10k per month makes you feel powerful. But waking up at 6 a.m. to send 5 cold emails, logging a workout when you are tired, writing a blog post that gets 8 views, that's delayed gratification, and it's painful, especially early on. Inputs ask you to do the work without applause, and that's hard because your brain is always asking, what's the point if no one sees this? Which brings us to the second trap: social pressure to show results. When you are goal obsessed, it's easy to make bold statements. I'm going to earn 6 figures this year. I'm building a passive income stream. I'm quitting my job by December. These sounds impressive. They make you feel like you're already achieving something. But input habits: I'm publishing 2 videos a week. I'm emailing 5 leads every day. I'm investing £200 per month into index funds. They sound boring, and because they are quiet, they are harder to validate socially. Society celebrates the finish line. System celebrates the daily steps. If you're not clear on your values, you will abandon the process in favor of approval. Number 3, they don't track anything. If you don't measure your inputs, you can't feel your progress. And when you can't feel your progress, you assume you are failing. This is why most New Year's resolutions die before February. No scoreboard, no motivation, no habit. That's why part of this shift isn't just thinking differently, it's building tools that help you see the inputs you are doing. We'll go into the how-to shortly in part 5. But first, let's talk about few people who do stick with input-based systems and how they win quietly than all at once. Let's talk about the people who do stick with input habits and what happens when they do. At first, their results are invisible. They look like they are wasting time. Friends and family question their commitment. Strangers ignore their work. Even they wonder if it's worth it. But then something changes, because compound interest doesn't show up gradually. It shows up all at once. Let me give you some real world proof. MrBeast, the king of consistent inputs. Before MrBeast became one of the biggest creators in industry, he was uploading Minecraft videos with 0 to 100 views for years. His goal wasn't get 10 million subscribers. His system was make each video 1% better. He studied retention graphs, tested thumbnails, watched other creators obsessively, and he did this consistently without any audience, without praise, without results. Now he is the most watched YouTuber on the planet. But the success came after the input habits, not before. James Clear, from unknown blogger to global best-selling author. Before Atomic Habits sold 10 plus million copies, James Clear spent 3 years writing 2 blog posts per week. No book deal, no speaking gigs, no followers. Just writing, improving, publishing twice a week. Eventually, the habit built a following. The following brought opportunity. The opportunity created wealth. He didn't chase success. He out-practiced everyone else. Codie Sanchez, systems, not sprints. Codie didn't become a millionaire by luck. She built systems. Daily deal reviews, weekly financial audits, scheduled deep work blocks. While everyone else chased quick wins, she tracked habits. Boring businesses work because boring systems compound. The same applies to your personal wealth. If it's too exciting, it's probably not sustainable. Naval Ravikant, inputs equals leverage. Naval says play long-term games with long-term people. All the return in life come from compound interest and leverage. He focused on reading thousands of books, building deep partnerships, creating scalable systems like AngelList. The result? Massive inputs, but it all started with small repeated inputs. Chris Do, quantity builds quality. When Chris Do started sharing content on Instagram and YouTube, it wasn't flashy. He just committed to showing up. One of his favorite rules is make 100 things, don't judge, just create. Inputs, not perfection. Systems, not stardom. So what's the takeaway? The people you admire didn't get lucky, they get consistent. They embraced the boredom, they repeated the basics, they built the systems. And now their wealth looks like magic to everyone else. In part 5, I'll show you how to build your version of that system. But first, take a breath and decide, are you ready to be consistent when no one's watching? So now that you understand the mindset shift and you have seen how it works in real world, let's get practical. So how do you actually build a personal input system that helps you stay consistent, focused, and progressing no matter what? Here is the step-by-step framework I recommend. Step 1, choose your area of focus. Start with one area of your life, not 5, not everything. We are not overhauling your entire world. We are building one system with leverage. Ask yourself, if I consistently make small improvements in one part of my life, which area would change everything? Example, money, income, saving, investing, career, performance, skills, development, leadership, content, YouTube, email list, TikTok, personal brand, business, sales, client, acquisition, delivery, retention, health, energy, movement, nutrition, sleep. Pick one. Step 2, identify the inputs that move the needle. Let's say your focus is content. Instead of setting a goal like grow to 50,000 subscribers, break it down to inputs. Upload 2 videos per week, write 1 newsletter per week, repurpose 3 shorts from each long video. If your goal is to save £10,000, input could be transfer £200 every Friday to savings, track expenses in an app daily, review and cut 1 subscription per month. Make it measurable, make it repeatable, make it boring. Excitement is for results, boredom is for systems. Step 3, set a weekly tracking rhythm. Create a simple system to review your inputs. You can use a Google Sheet, a Notion dashboard, a wall calendar, a whiteboard, or even a pen and paper. Every week, review which input did I complete, what got in the way, what pattern do I notice. This helps you stay honest and in the game. Step 4, automate or schedule where possible. You don't need to rely on willpower. Use automation or scheduling. Set calendar blocks for input tasks. Use tools like auto investing or recurring reminders. Batch record content or batch create templates. Anything that removes friction increases consistency. Discipline is easier when systems do the thinking for you. Step 5, protect it with boundaries. This is critical. Your inputs will get challenged by distractions, by obligations, by mood. You need to decide in advance. What happens when I miss a day? What will I say no to? What's my non-negotiable minimum? Even just 10 minutes version of your input keeps the streak alive. Don't let one bad day turn into a bad week. Step 6, expand only after you are consistent. This part is key. Most people fail because they try to build 5 systems at once. Start with one. Prove to yourself you can be consistent. Then and only then scale up. Add a second input, increase intensity, layer in tracking. Don't rush. If you stay consistent for a year, you will outperform almost everyone trying to sprint for 30 days. In part 6, I'll show you how this system, when applied consistently, leads to compounding results that look like overnight success to the outside world. But to you, it will feel like momentum. Let's keep building. Let's talk about what happens when you actually stick to your input system. When you upload 2 videos a week for 52 weeks, save and invest £200 every month for 5 years, pitch 5 clients a day, 5 days a week, write 1 newsletter a week for a year. What happens? At first, nothing. No applause, no explosion of results, no flood of income or attention. And that's where most people quit. Because they expect a straight line, but compound growth never looks like a straight line. It looks like flat, 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 slight jump, plateau again, and then a curve that kicks upward. Most people overestimate what they can do in 30 days and underestimate what they can do in 3 years. This is where inputs shine. They allow you to stay consistent long enough to break through that flat line, the invisible phase. This is the phase where you are doing the work, you are tracking your habits, you are staying accountable, but no one sees you and you are tempted to stop. Don't. This is where 99% of people drop out, right before their inputs start compounding, the compounding phase. If you persist through the invisible phase, you build credibility, you master your craft, you get faster and better at your inputs, the world start noticing. You are no longer guessing, you are operating. Clients start start coming to you, audience start growing, income becomes more predictable, and everyone asks, how did you blow up so fast? They don't see the 12 months of quiet systems behind it. That's why you don't chase validation. You chase volume, you chase reps, you chase data, because that's what compounds. And here is the best part. The longer you stick to your inputs, the easier they get, and the more freedom you earn. Freedom through inputs. When your systems are logged in, you don't rely on motivation. You don't chase fades. You don't panic when results slow down, because you're not reacting. You are executing. You are playing your game. That's how wealth is built. Quietly, consistently, without noise. In part 7, we will pull it all together, and I'll give you the final mindset shift that makes this habit permanent. We have talked about why goals can distract you, why inputs drive real results, how to build repeatable systems, what to expect in the compounding phase. But now comes the final piece, the shift that separates people who maintain this habit for 90 days from the ones who do it for life. And that shift is this. You don't want this habit to just be what you do. You want it to be who you are, because identity drives behavior. When you say, I'm trying to post 2 videos a week, you might. But when you say, I'm a creator, I show up every week no matter what, you will. When you say, I'm trying to save money, your discipline is conditional. But when you say, I'm the kind of person who always pays myself first, it becomes principle. The most powerful version of a habit is when it's no longer negotiable. It's part of your image. Build an identity stock. Start stocking small identity statements that reinforce your habit. For example, I'm a builder. I create before I consume. I'm a steward of my money. I always know where it's going. I'm an investor. I put my money into assets before expenses. I'm a systems person. I trust process over hype. These aren't slogans, they are your rules. And rules create consistency, especially when motivation fades. Close the gap between action and identity. Every time you follow through on your input habit, you are casting a vote for the identity you want. Writing that email, you are a professional. Tracking that expense, you are financially disciplined. Uploading that video, you are a creator. Action reinforces identity. Identity reinforces action. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to stay consistent enough for the feedback loop to kick in. Because once your brain believes this is who you are, you stop needing reminders. It becomes automatic. Wealth is a character game. Anyone can hit a lucky month. Anyone can get one viral video. Anyone can catch a hot stock. But true wealth, it's built by people who act with intention even when no one's watching. It's not about what you achieve. It's about what you become. You become someone who shows up no matter what, operates with systems, track inputs, not just outcomes, build habits that stick because they are tied to identity. So let me ask you, what's one identity you are ready to commit to? Not just for this week, for this year, for your future. Drop it in the comments, write it down, make it visible. More importantly, prove it to yourself with consistent action this week. If you want help tracking that, grab that free input habit tracker linked in the description. It's built to keep your systems visible, repeatable, and real. And if this video helped you, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs a reset. Because wealth doesn't come from dreaming, it comes from doing. This is Mr. Financial Mindset. I'm Muzaffar Teja, reminding you, you weren't born to pay bills and die. You were born to build freedom. Let's do it, one input at a time.